What's up, guys? We're back with a full slate of MLB action here on Sunday, April 13th. We're going to break down every MLB game on the slate. We're going to look at bets on the side and over-under, and make sure you're checking that pinned comment throughout the day to see if there are any changes as injury news and starters are confirmed. Yesterday, guys, pretty decent. A nice Saturday out there. We ended up going 3-2 overall. Despite some kind of bad luck, we did have the over there in that Phillies-Cardinals matchup, and despite there being 17 hits and an error in that game, only 5 total runs being scored. So that's pretty unlucky. Usually you're going to hit that one. We had the Rays minus 140. They give up 5 runs over the last 3 innings. That bullpen is not good. So another semi-unlucky spot, but we finished the day off strong, winning the last 3 games there in the pinned comment. We had the over in that Washington Nationals Miami Marlins game. That one had already cashed there by the 5th inning. So easy win there. We had the Pittsburgh Cincinnati under 8.5. Feels kind of sketchy sometimes betting unders at the Great American Ballpark, but we ended up with 7 total runs on only 8 hits, so cashing that play as well. When we finished the day off strong, we had the Angels plus 124 with Tyler Anderson on the mound, and he came through for us big time. They get the 4-1 win. Anderson gave up only a single hit and struck out 6 over 5 2/3 innings. So a 3-2 day with a nice underdog mixed in there. We will absolutely take that every day of the week. If you love that winning day, guys, slam that like button. It's free, helps me a ton, and shows your appreciation for all the free information, all the work we're putting into these videos every single day. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. That'll help keep you from missing our daily videos. Comment below with any bets you're looking at today or any other feedback you have for me, and I will personally respond. Quick reminder, guys, all of our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last 3 years running and is off to a great beginning to the year right out of the gate. So printing units left and right. Once you get over to StumpTheSpread.com, you'll be able to see exclusive free picks only posted there, free to use bet size calculators, and our premium top confidence picks, which might not always match what you see here in the video. You also need to sign up for our free email newsletter from Stump the Spread, which will get you free picks straight to your inbox every day and updates on our results. Just make sure to check your spam folder. If you're a huge fan of what we're doing here every single day, you can sign up for a channel membership by clicking the little join button right below the video. Channel members are eligible for our members only giveaways. We'll be giving away a Stump the Spread hoodie to one random channel member each month, and as we get more channel members, we'll be doing more and more giveaways each and every month. Members also get early access to our videos and get their names up on screen in every single video. As always, guys, our favorite picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the San Francisco Giants headed to Yankee Stadium to take on the New York Yankees. The Giants have gotten off to kind of a surprising start to the year. They're 10-4 overall. They are 1-1 so far in this series at Yankee Stadium. They just lost game 2, 8-4, but they were looking good there. I mean, they did give up 5 runs there in the 5th inning, and they also looked great in game 1, winning 9-1. So the Giants, definitely nothing to be ashamed of here in the early goings. They're giving the ball to Logan Webb, who's 1-0 to start his season, a 1.89 ERA. He's fresh off of a dazzling start there against Cincinnati Reds. Went 7 innings, gave up 4 hits, struck out 10, walked 0, gave up no runs in a game the Giants eventually lost 2-0 because they couldn't give him any run support. But his other 2 starts this season have been very good as well. So loving what we're seeing from him, loving what we're seeing from the Giants bullpen. A 1.79 bullpen ERA has them second in the majors right now. And the offense has not been bad at all. They're top 10 in runs scored. They're top 10 in slugging percentage as well. And we've seen, Wilmer Flores for sure get off to an insane start. 6 home runs and 19 RBIs here in the early returns. So we'll see if they can keep things rolling here against the Yankees, who are 8-6 on the season, obviously fresh off that nice 8-4 win. Warren earning his first career win, and Bellinger hitting that go-ahead single. So, yeah, good stuff there for the Yankees. They're giving the ball to Carlos Rodon in this game, who's 1-2 to start his year, a 5.19 ERA. And after a very good start to the year against Milwaukee, things have looked much worse recently. 6 innings, 4 earned runs on 3 hits. Against Arizona, okay, but he walked 4 in that game and struck out 5. Against Detroit, at Detroit, they've been hitting the ball pretty well, and they hit him hard. 5 earned runs, 6 runs overall on 4 hits, gave up a home run in that one, struck out 8, but walked 3. So Rodon not looking super sharp here in the early returns. The Yankees bullpen, a bullpen ERA of around 4 is not what they had in mind, and the offense, while it got off to a torrid start to the year, they're still second in the majors in runs scored. They've scored 8, 1, 4, 0, 2, and 4 runs over the last few. That's not what is supposed to be happening here for the Yankees on offense. So obviously coming off a good game, maybe they can get pointed right back in the right direction. So we'll see how things go. The odds makers have the Giants at -105, the Yankees at -115, a total of 7.5. San Francisco 6-2 on the road, 9-5 to the over. The Yankees 5-3 at home and 9-4-1 to the over. Despite two pretty decent starters on the mound, especially Logan Webb, who's been throwing the ball well, I think over 7.5 is super duper live in this game. It might be my bigger lean on this one, to be honest. I think the over is super live. I also wouldn't, fault anyone for taking the Giants here. They're in a bit of a bounce back spot. I've loved what I've seen from Logan Webb here early, and Carlos Rodon has been all over the place. So has that Yankees bullpen. The Giants -105 also has a very good chance to end up in the pinned comment. Rolling right along, guys, we're looking at the Toronto Blue Jays going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. The Blue Jays come into this game 8-7 on the year, but they've now lost 2 in a row. Game 1 of this series was postponed. Game 2, they end up taking a tough 5-4 loss. Toronto kind of fallen off after a pretty hot start. They're giving the ball to Jose Barrios, who's been, he got off to a rough start to his season, but he's improved in each of his 2 games. Got shelled by Baltimore, so this is a revenge spot for him, or maybe a bounce back spot, depending on how you want to look at it. But a very good start against Washington in 7 innings of 1-run ball there at Boston his last time out. So he's throwing the ball well coming into this one. Something we cannot say there for that bullpen of Toronto. A 4.25 bullpen ERA. Not good. The offense has done some positive things this season, but they've scored 4, 3, 2, 6, and 6 runs over their last few games. So 17th in the majors in runs scored, 6th in batting average. Doesn't look terrible. They're also 8th in on-base percentage. George Springer off to a good start. Other than that, nobody crushing it necessarily. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Orioles, who 6-8 on the year definitely need some positive things here as the season continues to develop. They're going to be hitting the ball to Cade Povich, who last season showed a lot of promise. He's 0-1 to start this year, a 3.48 ERA. First start against Boston, not so hot, but Toronto did eventually get the win thanks to putting up 8 runs. His second time out against Kansas City, the kid pitched himself out of trouble so many times. He gave up 12 hits, but only a single earned run. He gave up 4 earned runs overall in a game. Eventually, we saw Baltimore lose 4-1. So not the sharpest stuff, not the best stuff, but you're looking at a 6'3 left-hander who's 24 years old, probably not going to come into the season looking exactly perfect. In terms of the bullpen, Baltimore's actually off to a fantastic start compared to what we've seen over the last couple of years. A 3.24 bullpen ERA is very respectable. The problem for this team, kind of unpredictably, has been the offense. 15th in the majors in runs scored and 17th in slugging percentage is not what's supposed to be happening for the Baltimore Orioles. So we'll see if they can figure the bats out a little bit in this one. The Orioles are favorites at -130. The Toronto Blue Jays are +110. We've got a total of 8.5. Toronto 3-5 on the road, 10-4-1 to the under. Baltimore 2-2 at home, 8-5-1 to the over. This would be a spot I would love the Toronto Blue Jays if their bullpen wasn't so terrible. So keep that in mind a little bit. I know Barrios got shelled by Baltimore his last time out, so maybe we wouldn't love it too much. I do think this is a decent spot to take Toronto maybe in the first 5 or something like that, but Cade Povich is not somebody I trust too much either, so we're going to be leaning just slightly towards Toronto, +110, but this is not going anywhere near the pinned comment. Rapid fire through these games, guys. We've got a hell of a slate to cover. We've got the Atlanta Braves going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Braves 4-10 to start the year. Not a good start at all. They have won 2 out of the last 3. They lost game 1 of the series, but then won game 2, 5-4. So they'll take that. They're hitting the ball in this one to Chris Sale, hoping he can, kind of get things figured out because the guy has not looked good here out of the gate. It's been pretty rough. He's given up at least 3 earned runs in each of his first 3 starts and just gave up 5 earned runs on 9 hits against the Phillies. So this is a spot that could definitely use a bounce back from, what's supposed to be their best starting pitcher. The bullpen for Atlanta has also had its struggles early in the season. A 4.04 bullpen ERA, not what the doctor ordered. And the offense is starting to turn things around a little bit, but they're still relying a lot on Ozuna, who's up to batting 326 on the season, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs. But overall, the Braves are 29th in the majors in runs scored and 22nd in batting average. Those aren't the kind of numbers that are going to get the job done here unless this entire pitching staff really goes nuts. The Tampa Bay Rays obviously would love a win here. They're down to 6-8 on the year. Not really holding up that good start they got off to in the season. They're giving the ball in this one to Shane Baz, who's off to a fantastic start on his own. He's 1-0, a 1.38 ERA. First start, dominated the Pirates, striking out 10. He also gave up 7 hits, but gave up no runs over those 6 innings. Against the Angels, his last time out, Bro went 7 innings, gave up 3 hits, 2 earned runs, struck out 6, and walked 4. That was a 4-3 loss there for Tampa Bay, but he's been throwing the ball well. This 25-year-old showing insane promise out there. So we're happy for him. In terms of the bullpen for Tampa Bay, though, a 4.53 bullpen ERA is a huge problem. Don't like that at all. The offense for Tampa Bay has been a bit all over the place, but lately it has not looked great. They're 22nd in the majors in runs scored. They're coming off a game where they scored 4. They scored 4, 6, 1, 5, 3, 3, and 4 runs over the last few games. Not a disaster. Brandon Lowe off to a good start. Jonathan Arenado not off to a bad start either. So we'll see what they can do out there. The Rays are plus 105 at home. The Braves are minus 125. We've got a total of 7.5 out there. Atlanta's only 1-8 on the road. They're 7-5-2 to the under. Tampa Bay 6-5 at home, 8-5-1 to the under. I actually think this is a pretty reasonable spot to take a no-run first inning play. That jumps to mind pretty quick. I don't know if I'm into under 7.5 with how bad the Tampa Bay Rays bullpen has looked and how mediocre the Braves bullpen has looked and how bad Chris Sale has looked. So I'm going to lean towards the Rays here a little bit at plus 105 and a little bit towards a no-run first inning or an under in the first 5. Next up, guys, we've got an AL Central showdown between the Kansas City Royals and the Cleveland Guardians. The Royals come into this game losers of their first 2 in a row in this series. They lost game 1 7-0, lost game 2 6-3. Are we about to see a Kansas City Royals team that is terrible on the road this season? We'll have to wait around. It's obviously a very small sample size, but we'll see. Cole Rangans comes into this game, guys, making the start. He hasn't figured in a result, a 2.81 ERA through 3 starts, though. That'll work. Generally speaking, his first start of the year was against Cleveland. He went 5 innings, gave up 3 earned runs, so not his best outing, but then he dominated the Milwaukee Brewers and dominated the Minnesota Twins. His last time out, he struck out 11, gave up no walks, and only a single earned run. So very good stuff there. Expecting good stuff from Cole Rangans. Now, the bullpen for Kansas City has been okay to start the year. A 3.88 bullpen ERA doesn't leave too much to be desired. I don't think it's a big problem. The bats, though, have not been great. They scored 3-0, 3-0, 2, 4, and 4 runs over the last few games. Bobby Witt Jr. starting to heat up a little bit. That's obviously a big help, but not a lot of power numbers coming out of there, guys. 29th in slugging percentage, 28th in runs scored. Like, this is not a team that puts up very many runs. So we'll see what they do here against the Guardians, who are 8-6 on the year. They've won now 5 in a row. They swept the White Sox, then winning the first 2 in this series. They're going to be hitting the ball to Ben Lively, who's 0-1 to start his year, a 4.40 ERA. But after a rocky start against Kansas City, a decent start against the Padres, but definitely not great, he was very good against the White Sox. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed. He did walk 3, but struck out 4. Against Kansas City in his first outing, it would have looked a lot better without that home run mixed in there, but it wasn't terrible. So we'll see what he does here in his second crack against the Royals. The Cleveland bullpen has been excellent this year. No major shock there, guys. They're top 5 in the majors, a 2.38 bullpen ERA. That will definitely help, and the offense is starting to look better and better. We've seen Steven Kwan hitting the ball well. Jose Ramirez is hitting the ball pretty well. This team is only 20th in the majors in runs scored and 21st in batting average, but 15th in on-base percentage and 15th in slugging percentage. So I think we see those runs scored numbers continue to climb here a little bit. The Royals are minus 130 in this game. The Guardians are plus 110. We've got totals of 7 or 7.5 out there. The Royals 1-4 on the road, 8-7 to the under. Cleveland's 5-0 at home this year and 7-7 to the over/under. I would be leaning just a little bit towards the Royals at minus 130 with a chance to snap that losing streak, and get a win here in this series. But this game, I don't really have a ton of faith either way. I mean, Rangans has been good, but the Royals in general have been bad. Ben Lively's been decent, but not great. And the Guardians, I just can't get completely on board with them. So this is kind of a stay away spot for me. Next up, guys, out to the NL Central, we've got the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the Cincinnati Reds. The Pirates have lost the first 2 games of this series in Cincinnati, just falling 5-2 in their last one. We did see Elly De La Cruz hit a grand slam there on his bobblehead night. That was pretty wild there for the Reds. But the Pirates overall not having a good time at 5-10 on the season. They're handing the ball in this one to Carmen Maldzinski. He's a 26-year-old right-hander who's not off to the hottest start. I mean, he had a bad start against Tampa Bay, but then looked good against the Cardinals, at least kind of. 5 innings, 5 hits, only a single earned run. I'm not going to throw you a parade for that one, bud, but it wasn't a bad outing, and he could definitely use it. So we'll see how he looks in this one. We'll see if that Pirates bullpen can continue to be decent. They've been above, above half the league, at least, above average, a 3.68 bullpen ERA. I can get on board with that a little bit. The offense, on the other hand, has been pretty bad, guys. They're last in batting average, last in slugging percentage, 24th in the majors in runs scored. They've scored 2, 3, 2, 3, 8, 5, and 4 runs over their last several games. So it's not looking great. and they're taking on a Cincinnati Reds team that's kind of turning things on, winning 4 out of their last 5 to get to 7-8 on the year, and they're handing the ball in this one to young Hunter Green, who is a monster out there. He's 1-1 on the season, a 1.31 ERA. He's yet to allow more than 2 earned runs in any start this year, and he's fresh off nearly a complete game effort there against the San Francisco Giants. It's his second start against the Giants. He looked even better in his second one than in his first one. He went 8 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits. That was it. 7 strikeouts, 1 walk, no runs allowed. So will he be able to do something similar against the Pirates? Well, the Pirates, not a great offensive team, that's for sure. The bullpen for Cincinnati is looking excellent as well, guys. Top, 8 or something like that in the majors, a 3.38 bullpen ERA. The offense is turning things around as well. 5, 6, 1, and 2 runs over their last few games. Obviously, nobody off to an insane start. I mean, Elly De La Cruz is starting to put up some numbers, but he's only batting .237 on the season, so I need to see a little bit better batting average. But other than that, a lot of positives. They're up to 16th in the majors in runs scored, but 28th in batting average and 30th in on-base percentage. Makes this seem a little bit weird. But looking at the numbers for this one, guys, the odds makers love Cincinnati. They're minus 190 in this game. The Pirates are plus 158. We've got a total of 7.5 out there. The Pirates 2-7 on the road, 7-1 to the over/under. Cincinnati 4-4 at home, 8-6-1 to the under. I wouldn't be too upset at anybody that wanted to take an under in this game. I think under 7.5 is pretty live, especially if Moldinsky can have a decent outing as well. So yeah, lean slightly towards the under here. You could talk me into a no-run first inning in this game. In terms of a side, I really don't want to take the Reds at minus 190. That seems like a crazy price, but also I don't have any faith in the Pirates. So probably going to stay away from the side and just ride that under. Next up, guys, we got the Washington Nationals going on the road to take on the Miami Marlins. The Nationals took the 7-6 loss there in Game 2 of this series, so the series is now tied at 1 game apiece. The Nationals are only 6-8 on the year. They're giving the ball in this one to Mackenzie Gore, who's 1-1 to start his season, a 2.65 ERA. He's been very good here in the early returns. A great start against the Phillies to open the season. Kind of mediocre start against Toronto, but then a very, very solid start against the Dodgers of all teams. I mean, he went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, walked 1, and struck out 7. And against the Dodgers, I think you would take that any day of the week. The bullpen for Washington this season hasn't exactly been up to par, though. A 5.33 bullpen ERA leaves a lot of problems there to look at. We'll see what they can do in this one. I mean, in terms of the offense, it's looked okay. 6, 7, 5, 8, 6 runs over their last few. Very playable. We've seen Ruiz off to a great start. James Woods with 5 home runs already. Nathaniel Lowe with 14 RBIs, 3 home runs, and batting .250. Like, there's some guys swinging the bats. That's why they're at least league average in basically every major statistic, and they're 7th in slugging percentage. Now, do I expect that to last? Not necessarily, but it could come into play in this game for sure as they take on the Marlins, who are 500 on the season now, winners of 2 out of their last 3. They're going to be giving the ball in this one to Cal Quantrill, who's 1-1 to start the year, a 6 ERA. His last start was very good at the Atlanta Braves, albeit a slumping Atlanta Braves, but he went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits and no runs while striking out 4, and that was a 4-0 win there for the Marlins. So they'll be hoping for something similar from him. They will be hoping that their bullpen can do a little bit better. They're bottom 6th in the majors right now with a 4.66 bullpen ERA. So that obviously doesn't help in terms of their offense. We've seen some guys get off to decent starts. Xavier Edwards batting .315 on the season. That's cool. Mervis with 4 home runs, batting .281. That's not bad either, but they're still 26th in the majors in runs scored, despite being 16th in batting average and 17th in on-base percentage. So maybe we expect those run scored numbers to come up here a little bit. They are coming off a game where they scored 7, though, so it's probably not going to get a lot better than that. The odds makers actually like the Nationals a good bit in this game with Mackenzie Gore on the mound. They are minus 135. The Marlins are plus 115. We've got totals out there of 8 and 7.5. Washington's only 1-4 on the road. They're 9-5 to the over. Miami 5-4 at home, 8-6 to the over. If you wanted to play an over because of those trends in this game, I guess you could take over 7.5. It's a small number, so I don't have a problem with that. In terms of a side, I think we're going to see pretty good stuff from Mackenzie Gore. Now, what will we see from the Nationals bullpen? That's pretty questionable. I would still side with the Nationals, though, at minus 135. But with that bullpen looking so bad, can I put this in the pinned comment? Seems like a stretch. Next up, guys, we've got our favorite team from yesterday. We've got the Los Angeles Angels going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. The Angels came through for us yesterday, guys, with a 4-1 win, so that was nice to hit a little underdog. They're 9-5 to start the year, so they've got a little bit of juice. They're handing the ball to Kyle Hendricks, who is off to a shockingly very good start to his season. A good outing there, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs is all against the Cardinals in a 9-7 extra inning win there for the Angels. And then against Tampa Bay, his last start, guys, 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. gave up no runs in a 4-3 win there for the Angels. So yeah, very solid stuff in the early returns from Kyle Hendricks. When that back is right, bro is pretty good. The Angels bullpen, though, is looking real bad, guys. A 6.45 bullpen ERA has them worst in the majors. Now, are they going to be that bad all season? I would hope not. If I was an Angels fan, we'll have to wait and see, not trying to overreact too much, but not a bad day yesterday, guys. A 4-1 win there for the Angels. So definitely take that. Their offenses looked good. Logan O'Hoppe, Mike Trout, both off to great starts. They've scored 4, 3, 11, 4, and 4 runs over their last few games. So not crazy, but still solid, and they're still 8th in the majors in runs scored and 2nd in slugging percentage. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Houston Astros, who are 6-8 to start their year. They've been alternating wins and losses for quite a while now. They're hitting the ball in this game to Hayden Wesneski, who's 0-1 to start his season, a 3.75 ERA. Both of his starts, though, have been very reasonable, guys. I mean, against the Giants, looking like a pretty solid team, guys. 5 innings, 2 hits, 3 earned runs. If he dodges that 1 home run, things look a lot better. Then against Seattle Mariners, 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. He hit a home run in that game as well. But neither game was super high scoring. Both games looked very, very reasonable out there. So generally speaking, liking what we're seeing from Wesneski here in the early goings. Now the bullpen for Houston has also been respectable, a 3.48 bullpen ERA. Not a lot of huge problems there. The offense has been weird, though. Jose Altuve leading the way, 317 batting average and 3 home runs, but they're tied for 17th in the majors in runs scored. They're 20th in batting average. They're 27th in slugging percentage. This team is not hitting the ball hard and not hitting it very often. So we'll see what we get out of the offense in this one, guys. Looking at the numbers, the Angels plus 130. So underdogs again if we want to run it back. The Astros are minus 155. We've got a total of 8.5 out there. The Angels are 7-4 on the road, 9-5 to the over. Houston 3-5 at home, 7-5-2 to the under. I'm leaning towards the under 8.5 in this game. I think that's very, very live. I think it's a very reasonable spot. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Hendricks and from Wesneski. Both of Wesneski's starts have been very low scoring. Kyle Hendricks, both of his starts, one was very low scoring, the other one went into extras. So I generally think under 8.5 is good value in this game, but I also have some faith here in these Angels. So give me a little bit of a taste of the Angels at plus 130 with the under being my main lean. Rapid fire through these games, guys. We're looking at the Boston Red Sox going on the road to take on the Chicago White Sox. The Red Sox not having a great time. They lost their first 2 games here against the White Sox. Richard Fitz, you hate to see it, exiting the game, going to undergo an MRI on his shoulder. So that's not looking good. One of the best names in Major League Baseball going to be out here for a bit. Probably at least. We'll see what the Red Sox can do here, handing the ball to Garrett Crochet, the former White Sox. He's 1-1 to start his year, a 1.45 ERA. He's looked pretty reasonable in the early goings. His last time out, though, not so hot against Toronto. 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 4 runs, but only 1 earned. He didn't have his best control. Gave up a home run, also walked 4 in that game. So gonna need to figure things out here a little bit. I'm expecting good stuff from him, though, especially in this game against his former team. We'll see how that goes, but I don't think it's gonna be a problem. The Boston bullpen has been in the bottom half of the majors, a 4.11 bullpen ERA. And the offense, while it's been good at some points, tied for 5th in the majors in runs scored and 8th in batting average, has only managed to put up 3 total runs here in their first 2 games against the White Sox. And it wasn't looking that great against Toronto either. So question marks abound for this Boston offense as they take on the White Sox, who've now won 2 in a row. I don't know how many times we're going to see that this season. The White Sox 4-10 on the year, giving the ball to Shane Smith, who has kind of been doing his thing out there. Not figured in a result yet, but a 1.54 ERA looks extremely healthy. A good outing there against Minnesota. 5 2/3 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, struck out 3, walked 4. And then against Cleveland in a 1-0 loss, which is brutal for any pitcher. 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs allowed, struck out 6 and walked 1. So loving what we're seeing from Shane Smith in the early goings. The White Sox bullpen also hasn't been nearly as terrible as it was last season, guys. A 3.23 bullpen ERA has them top 7 in the majors. Now the offense, kind of another story, guys. Real bad. 28th in slugging percentage, 27th there in runs scored. Over their last few games, they've scored 3, 11, 1, 2, and 0 runs. So I'm not really buying anything on this, White Sox offense. But looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Red Sox at minus 240. The White Sox at plus 195. We've got a total of 7. Boston 3-6 on the road, 9-5-2 to the under. The White Sox 4-4 at home, 7-6-1 to the under. I mean, under 7 seems okay, but I love the no-run first inning in this game quite a bit. I like no-run first inning for sure. That could actually end up in the pin comment. You guys always love the no-run first inning spot, so this could definitely be one. I also think, as crazy as wild as it seems pretty unlikely, but we're getting 2-1 with a good starter on the mound, and maybe Garrett Crochet, maybe these guys know his stuff a little bit. So, yeah, if you're begging me for a side and you want a wild underdog, I guess you could talk me into the White Sox, but I'm definitely not taking Boston at minus 240. That is way too rich for my blood. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Detroit Tigers going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. The Tigers are looking great in this series so far, winning the first 2 games 7-6, and then getting the 4-0 win out there with their top prospect on the mound. That's got to feel great. They're hitting the ball in this one to Casey Mize, who's 2-0 to start his year. A 0.77 ERA is obviously elite, dominating Seattle and then dominating the New York Yankees. So excellent stuff out there from Mize on the mound. The bullpen for these Detroit Tigers, though, hasn't been incredible, but hasn't been terrible. A 3.91 bullpen ERA is around MLB average. The offense has actually taken a decent stride forward here for the Tigers. They're top 10 in runs scored, but top 5 in all the other major counting stats. We've seen McKinstry get off to a great start. Kerry Carpenter hitting the ball well. Spencer Torkelson is off to a good start. So, yeah, this team just hitting the ball really well here in the early goings. Now, we'll see if that can continue against the Twins, who are floundering. They've lost 6 out of their last 7 to fall to 4-11 on the year. They're giving the ball to Simeon Woods Richardson, hoping he can turn things around for him. But Bro's 0-1 to start the year with a 5.59 ERA. He gave up 4 earned runs on 8 hits over 5 2/3 against the Royals his last time out, and even was giving up runs against the White Sox in his first start of the year. So I don't know if they should really be holding their breath for him to save them. The Twins' bullpen has been fine, a little bit above average, a 3.38 bullpen ERA. The offense, on the other hand, has been pretty abysmal. 27th in batting average, 28th in slugging percentage. They've scored 0, 6, 2, 4, 1 in 2 games, 2 runs over the last few games. It's not looking so hot, guys. And despite that, the Twins are actually the favorites in this game. That's pretty wild. Makes me feel like there's some weird injury news or something that we don't know about at the moment. But Detroit's plus 104. The Twins are minus 120. We've got a total of 8.5. Detroit's 4-4 on the road, 7-6-1 to the over. Minnesota 1-4 at home, 7-6-2 to the under. I'm not taking the under in a game that Simeon Woods Richardson is pitching in, but I will definitely take the Pirates here with Casey Mize on the mound getting plus money. That seems wild to me. I think Detroit's going to have a great time out there. I'm not sure if there's some weird thing that I don't know about, so let me know in the comments if I'm missing something on this game, but I think Detroit is the side here for sure. I don't care that they're going for their 3rd straight win. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the Philadelphia Phillies, headed to St. Louis to take on the Cardinals. The Phillies are 9-5 on the season. They got the 4-1 win at St. Louis and a bounce back after getting shut out there in Game 1. They're giving the ball to Zach Wheeler, hoping he can, keep them in the win column. He's 1-0 to start the year, a 3.44 ERA. His first 2 starts looked excellent, dominating Washington and Colorado, but then against Atlanta, the wheels came off. He went 5 1/3, gave up 8 hits, 5 earned runs. He's given up 1 home run in each of his first 3 games. He walked 3 and struck out 7 there against Atlanta, so not his best effort. Definitely a bounce back spot here for Zach Wheeler. Now, will he be able to bounce back? We'll have to wait and see. I think it's definitely possible. The Phillies' bullpen is always a question mark, guys. They're about middle of the pack with a 3.86 bullpen ERA, but I worry about them. I definitely worry about the Phillies' bullpen. Their offense, on the other hand, not something I'm super worried about. Seems like they're finding their stride. I mean, they're 14th in runs scored, but top 10 in batting average, top 5 in on-base percentage. I think they're going to be just fine out there. Schwarber off to a great start. Nick Castellanos off to a great start. So we expect to see good things from this Phillies offense here as they head to St. Louis to take on the Cardinals, who are 6-8 to start their year. Not exactly killing it out there in the NL Central. They're hitting the ball to Matthew Liberatore, who's 0-1 to start his season, 5.84 ERA. His first 2 starts haven't looked great. He actually got shelled by the Pirates his last time out, going 6 1/3 innings, giving him 8 hits and 5 earned runs in that game. He struck out 7 and walked 0, so that's cool. But yeah, getting shelled by the Pirates, not exactly a great look. So we'll see what he can do, see what this Cardinals bullpen can do. They've been, I think the right word I'm looking for here is bad. A 4.58 bullpen ERA. Not going to get me too jazzed up. That's bottom 6 or 7 in the majors. And the offense has really been a bright spot, kind of shockingly. I mean, we've seen Brendan Donovan get off to a very good start to his year. They're 4th in runs scored, 2nd in batting average, 1st in on-base percentage. Now, are these numbers going to continue to exist for the Cardinals? Well, they've scored 1, 2, 1, and 5 runs over their last few games. Not exactly super encouraging. So looking at the numbers here, guys, the Phillies are minus 190. The Cardinals are plus 160. We've got a total of 7.5 out there. We see the Phillies are 4-4 on the road, 10-4 to the under. The Cardinals are 5-3 this season at home. So been a decent home team and 8, 5, and 2 to the over themselves. In general, guys, this is definitely a spot I want to be backing Zach Wheeler and the Phillies. Now, minus 190, not exactly a price tag that I'm super interested in, but if you take the Phillies at minus 105, or at minus 1.5, you can get them at minus 105, and I think that is very reasonable here against a Cardinals team that's putting a guy on the mound I don't trust and has a bullpen that I really, really don't trust. Next up, guys, we're looking at the New York Mets going on the road to take on the Sacramento Athletics. That still feels really weird to say. The Mets come into this game 9-5 on the season. They just lost 3-1 in game 2 there against the Athletics, so that probably doesn't feel great. They're giving the ball to Kodai Senga, hoping he can help them bounce back. He's off to a great start, 1-1 to start the year, a 1.80 ERA. Weirdly enough, both of his starts have been against the Marlins, and he looked good in both. Only one resulted in a win, but yeah, 5 innings, 5 hits, and no runs allowed will definitely work. We'll see what the Mets bullpen can do. I mean, so far this season, they've been excellent. A 2.03 bullpen ERA is pretty crazy work. Offensively, we've seen Pete Alonso just going nuts here out of the gate. Bro's got 18 RBIs, 4 home runs, and still is batting nearly 350. Can that continue? That seems very wild, but overall, I mean, they've looked pretty decent at the plate despite, only 1 run in their last outing, so maybe we'll see them look a little bit better here against the Athletics in Game 3 of this series. The A's come into this one, guys, 6-9 on the season, giving the ball to Luis Severino, who's 0-2 to start his year, a 4.74 ERA. He's given up at least 5 earned runs in each of his last 2 starts. He's given up 2 home runs in each of his last 2 starts as well. He's been a workhorse, eating up a lot of innings, but it has not looked great, and the Athletics are 0-3 over his first 3 starts. So that's not ideal. The Athletics bullpen has been bottom, 8, something like that in the majors. A 4.53 bullpen ERA is not very good. In the offense, while we've seen guys like Jacob Wilson get off to a great start, Tyler Soderstrom has gotten off to a good start, but yeah, 12th in the majors in runs scored and 10th in batting average. Probably not going to be enough to save this kind of pitching staff. So looking at the numbers, the Mets are minus 140. The Athletics are plus 120. We've got a total of 9 out there. The Mets are 4-4 on the road, 10-4 to the under. The Athletics, 2-6 at home, 8-5-2 to the over. You could say this is a revenge spot for Severino, I guess, pitching against his old team, but I'm not really buying into this one, guys. I think we see the Mets bounce back and get the win here against the Athletics. Minus 140, probably not good enough of a price to go in the pinned comment, but I do think the Mets are definitely the side you want to be on in this one. Next on the dock, we're looking at the Colorado Rockies, headed to San Diego to take on the Padres. The Rockies have not scored a run yet in this series. They've lost 8-0 and 2-0 so far, so that doesn't look great. They're 3-11 on the season. Clearly, this is not a good team, guys. They're handing the ball to Kyle Freeland, who's 0-2 to start his year, a 3.79 ERA, so that, has to probably feel a little bit nice for him, but his team has yet to get a win in a start that he's made, and his last outing, he got shelled by the Milwaukee Brewers. So, not all sunshine and roses there. Obviously, no major surprise. The Colorado bullpen's been atrocious, a 6.44 bullpen ERA, and the offense has also obviously looked terrible, getting shut out their last 2 games. They're last in runs scored, 22nd in on-base percentage. This is not going to be a good team, guys. They aren't going to be as bad as the White Sox were last year, but kind of in a similar vague ballpark. So it's looking real bad. They're taking on the Padres, who are off to a dazzling start, 12-3 to start their year. They're giving the ball to Michael King, who's 2-0 to start his season. A 4.05 ERA is obviously not ideal. That's mostly thanks to a bad start against Atlanta in his first outing, though. His last start was against the Sacramento Athletics, 5 2/3 innings, gave up 8 hits and 3 earned runs, but got some run support in that one, and things worked out all right for him. The bullpen out there for the Padres has also looked insanely good. A 1.59 bullpen ERA is tops in the majors at the moment, and the offense is sizzling. Tatis batting .365 on the year with 4 home runs. Jackson Merrill doing his thing. This team is first in the majors in batting average, second in on-base percentage. I expect their current mark of 11th in the majors in runs scored to continue to look better and better. The odds makers love the Padres here. They're minus 235. The Rockies are plus 195. We've got totals of 7.5 or 7. Colorado's only 1-6 on the road, 7-5-1 to the under. The Padres are 8-0 at home, 7-6-1 to the over. It feels a little bit crazy, in the third game of the series, but I'm definitely looking at the Padres here at minus 1.5. You take a minus 1.5, you can get them at minus 105. Once again, guys, that seems like a price we could all theoretically get behind. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Milwaukee Brewers going on the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Brewers are 8-7 on the season. They just lost in a rough one there. The Diamondbacks score 5 runs in the 9th inning to stun the Brewers 5-4 there in Game 2. So, Milwaukee probably not feeling too great. Hitting the ball in this one to Freddie Peralta, hoping he can get them back on track. It's kind of been his thing. I mean, he's 1-1 to start the year, but a 2.00 ERA through 3 starts. That is very respectable. He hasn't given up more than 2 earned runs in any start this season, and he's faced the Yankees, the Royals, and the Colorado Rockies. In his last time out, 5 innings, 3 hits, only a single earned run there against the Rockies, and a 7-1 win for the Brewers. So definitely expecting nice stuff here from him. In general, the Milwaukee Brewers bullpen, what do we expect to see from them? Well, it's been a problem, guys. As evidenced by last night's game, they have a 6.09 bullpen ERA. That's bad. That is a big problem here for the Brewers. The offense is off to a great start, so that's obviously a big positive. Third in runs scored, and 11th in batting average, but with a bullpen that bad, you're going to have to score some runs. You're going to have to score late in the game as well. So we'll see what they can do here against the Diamondbacks, who have now won 3 out of their last 4. They're up to 8-7 on the year. They're giving the ball to Zach Gallen in this game, who's 1-2 to start his year, a 5.28 ERA. It's been weird, guys. A terrible start against the Cubs, a dazzling start against the Yankees, striking out 13 over 6 2/3 innings in a 4-3 win, but then terrible again. Very bad against the Baltimore Orioles. 4 2/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 earned runs, walked 4 in that game. Just didn't have his best stuff. So maybe this will be his, chance to have a good start at home, but feels a bit sketchy out there, not going to lie. So we'll see what he can do. We'll see what the bullpen can do. I mean, their Diamondbacks bullpen at 3.51 bullpen ERA, something they would definitely love to take over the course of the season. The offense hasn't gotten off to the fastest start, but it's looking real good once again, guys. 5th in the majors in runs scored and top 7 in every other major category. So not surprised to see the Diamondbacks as favorites here at -120. The Brewers are +100. We've got a total of 8 out there. The Brewers are 3-4 on the road, 8-6 to the under. Arizona 4-4 at home, 6-2 to the over/under. This is a sticky spot, guys. I want to take the Brewers here to bounce back a little bit. That's got to be a very disheartening loss. I'm a little bit stuck. Zach Gallen's been so all over the place this season. I'm going to lean just slightly towards Freddie Peralta and the Brewers. Maybe take Milwaukee in the first 5 or something like that. But this game feels very sketch. Next up, we're looking at the Texas Rangers headed to Seattle to take on the Mariners. It looks like Texas is going to get slammed here in Game 2 of this series. They're down 9-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning. So looking very sketchy there for the Rangers, who at 9-5 haven't gotten off to a terrible start, but things aren't looking as great as they were. They're giving the ball in this one to Nathan Eovaldi, who's 1-1 to start his year, a 2.29 ERA. His last start against the Cubs wasn't the smoothest. I mean, he only went 4 2/3 innings, gave up 4 hits and 3 earned runs, which maybe we should have been able to see coming, to be honest, because Bro had just thrown a complete game this early in the season against the Cincinnati Reds. So we'll see what he can do in this one, see if he's a little bit more, a little bit better rested out there after, such an extended start and then, not having a good time against the Cubs. The Rangers bullpen, not great, a 4.15 bullpen ERA. The offense, obviously coming off a game where they're probably going to score 1 run, isn't looking so hot either. They're tied for 24th in the majors in runs scored, 26th in batting average, so not a team that's really lighting it up at the moment. They're taking on the Seattle Mariners, who are 6-8, about to be 7-8 on the year, so they haven't gotten off to a fast start, partially in thanks to some struggles here from the young pitching staff, but they're giving the ball to Logan Gilbert, who's 0-1 to start his year, but a 2.55 ERA is very reasonable. He's faced Houston, Detroit, and at the Athletics, and he's looked pretty reasonable. I mean, against Detroit, he struck out 10, but did give up 3 earned runs, but other than that, he has been his normal dominant self out there. So 5 2/3 innings of 1 run, 1 hit ball against Houston will certainly work. So we'll see if they can run it back in this one, see if the Mariners bullpen can continue to be so good. We do expect that to happen. I mean, a 3.20 bullpen ERA is obviously excellent. And the offense, while it's not elite, has taken some steps forward from a year ago. I mean, they've scored 9, 5, 7, 1, and 4 runs over their last few. Numbers they would have killed 4 a season ago. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, we see the Rangers at +114, the Mariners at -135. We've got a total of 7 out there. The Rangers are 3-4 on the road, 8-6 to the under. Seattle 6-5 at home, 7-5-2 to the under. I'm not taking under in a day game here in Seattle, guys, but I will take the Mariners at -135 with Logan Gilbert on the mound. They're swinging the bats pretty well. Eovaldi is a good starter, but he hasn't looked super sharp here recently. I think the Mariners at -135 has an excellent shot to end up in the pinned comment. Last but not least, guys, we've got the Sunday night baseball matchup between the Chicago Cubs and the LA Dodgers. The Cubs actually got a startling 16-0 win over the Dodgers in Game 2 of this series. They lost Game 1 3-0, won Game 2 16-0. wild stuff there. They're going to be handing the ball in this one to Colin Ray, who is normally a bullpen guy, but he's looked very good out of the bullpen this season, and he's getting a chance to make a start. I mean, bro looked excellent against both the Athletics and the Rangers, and he pitched 3 and 2 innings in those games respectively, so I'm expecting more good stuff from him. Colin Ray is a veteran, but he can do some good stuff out there. The question is, who is going to look good behind him? I mean, the Cubs bullpen, a 4.79 bullpen ERA, obviously does not feel exactly amazing. So we'll see how things go. I expect decent stuff from the Cubs at the plate after putting up 16 runs, and they're first in the majors in runs scored. They're top 10 in most of the categories. Like, this team, especially Kyle Tucker, are swinging the bats well. Now, are they swinging them well enough to keep up with the Dodgers, who are obviously in a huge bounce back spot, just losing 16-0? The Dodgers are 11-5 on the year. They're handing the ball in this one to Tyler Glasnow, who's had his struggles in the early goings. A great start against Atlanta to open up his season, but then got shelled by the Phillies. 2 innings, gave up 2 hits and 5 earned runs because he just had no control out there. Walked 5 in 2 innings, so it's not usually going to work. It ended up being a close game there at the end, but the Dodgers had to rely on that bullpen. That is excellent, guys. Top 4 in the majors, a 2.15 bullpen ERA. Now, the offense has been a little bit all over the place. I mean, 0, 3, 6, 2, 4, and 7 runs over the last few games. Will Smith off to a good start. Tommy Edman off to a good start. Teoscar Hernandez off to a good start. But 5th in the majors in runs scored, despite being 19th in batting average and 13th in on-base percentage. Maybe a little bit of this offense is being overblown at the moment. So look at the numbers. They look pretty freaking wild. The Cubs are plus 220. The Dodgers are minus 270. We've got a total of 8.5. The Cubs are 5-3 on the road, 11-4-1 to the over. The Dodgers 7-0 at home, 9-6 to the over. I wouldn't fault anyone for taking over 8.5 in this game. That seems like a very okay thing to do, but it's too much juice, guys. I got to take the Cubs. They're getting 2.2 to 1. Like, I don't have a choice here. We're taking the Cubs here on Sunday Night Baseball at plus 220. Not going in the pinned comment, but I would understand why anybody wanted to take a flyer on this game would. I mean, the Cubs, I think they've got a very real shot in this game. I worry about that bullpen, obviously, but I like Colin Ray out there on the mound to start things off, and Tyler Glasnow has not looked unhittable here in the early going. So, yeah, give me a flyer there on the Chicago Cubs. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Get over to stumpthespread.com. Get on that free email list. It's super easy to do. You just sign up for a free account, give them your email address, and that's just about it. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thank you for watching. Get over to stumpthespread.com like I was saying, and we will see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.